If I was to tell, like, say some mates, they'd just be like, okay, right, and they might just laugh at me a little bit and start making fun of me.
It's alright for some. Like, if you want to believe that there's something else out there and it's bigger than what you can see, then fair enough.
You hear so many stories about them, so many people have their own experiences, you see documentaries on TV, they can't all just be made up.
My name is Karen Crowe and I'm Lincoln's Ghost Walk lady. Lincoln hasn't got many evil ghosts at all. The only thing you're likely to bump into is a bit of poltergeist activity. The head of St Hugh bounces down the Greystone stairs. It was stolen by two men who sneaked into the cathedral and took it and put it in a box and ran away off with it. But on their way to escape, they dropped it, the box smashed and the head bounced all the way down to the bottom of the stairs. Now people tell us that sometimes they're walking there and something catches them in the back of the knees, or they feel that something grabs their foot and it's Bishop Hugh's head still bouncing after all these years. There is a woman from the medieval times that we call Nanny, who's carrying a little baby in her arms. She crosses the road there. There's another woman with white hair and a slack jaw who looks as if she's died of fright and is still screaming. Lincoln's most famous ghost is Humphrey at Brown's Pie Shop. He's been on the telly. Derek Acora of the famous Most Haunted contacted him live on a television broadcast. And he's been there for years and years. And he's a small boy, and he's a naughty little boy, because he tends to put things in your recipe that you didn't put in.
My name's Dan, I'm the chef proprietor of Brown's Pie Shop. He's almost as famous as the pies at the restaurant. He's haunted this building for as far as I know, as long as it's been here. His name's Humphrey. He was a little boy who fell down the stairs. Very friendly, very naughty and mischievous. All sorts of goings on here, some of which you can point the direction into other bits and pieces of going on, but there's definitely a friendly spirit within the building. I've been in the office when, there's an awful lot of going-ons kind of up there, where it's more you can kind of, sometimes you think there's somebody behind you and you turn around, there's no one there. You know, there's that kind of, you definitely can feel like there's somebody else in the room. There's occasions where chairs are being pulled out, napkins are being put onto floors. An awful lot of people come here and do spiritual readings and stuff like that. And there's actually a lady who came and was talking to Humphrey downstairs in the cellar, and she asked Humphrey, was he alone here? And he said no. So that's as far as we got with that conversation with him. But there's definitely scope of having more than one spirit within the building.
The cathedral quarters, the horse there, that is a man who is riding to the castle from London with a pardon for a prisoner who's been condemned to death. But unfortunately, he stopped at a bar and falls asleep. And when he wakes up in the morning, the first shafts of sunlight coming through the inn window, to the realisation, of course, that his friend has hanged that very morning. Unable to bear the guilt, shame perhaps at what had happened, he goes out into the yard, takes the reins from his horse, throws them over one of the beams, and he too hangs himself. So we believe that the black horse and rider that gallops so desperately through Castle Square in the early hours of the morning is him. My favourite is the ghost dog, which goes to the strugglers and climbs under the table and sleeps on your feet, and it's only when you get up to leave you realise there isn't a dog there at all.
In the public bar area, yeah, in the strugglers, because I would imagine this, actually we know, this was their living room at one point, it wasn't part of the pub. So people have talked about the dog, which is well known and famous to the pub. One of the barmaids that was here for quite some time before I arrived here, she said that without a doubt that she used to hear it scratching at the bottom of the doors. Poor little thing used to come and sit by the fire waiting for its owner, and of course he'd been hung.
Ironically, everybody who wants to see one never sees one. The people who do see them are usually people who have second sight or are children or pets.
I was haunted when I was little, actually. Something was banging on my window. It had like a Statue of Liberty crown. I couldn't see its face, it was just a shadow, and I could see out the corner of my eye, I think there's something moving in my room. Like, I think I could see a shadow thing moving in my room. It's always getting me down, but it's like just been moving on the wall, and I don't know what it is. Like, it's not got a face or anything, but it's kind of freaking me out a bit. I don't really like it.
If you should see a ghost, like I said earlier, just be calm, just acknowledge the presence. Don't worry, I've yet to come across anybody who's ever been hurt by a ghost in any way. They've been startled, surprised, shocked, but not physically harmed in any way. And you were quite lucky.
I wouldn't tell someone to stop believing in ghosts, because I'm not religious, and I wouldn't tell someone to stop being religious, so each their own.
I've always been told, you know, there's a ghost, and when I was younger I was very ignorant to all that kind of thing, so I never really believed it. And then it's only when you, like I said, you know, you sat in the office by yourself and you feel like there's somebody else in the room but there's nobody there.
Have an open mind, look into the history of places, and you know, if you get the opportunity to go into especially old buildings with your camera and your meter, and you know, if you're lucky, something will turn up.